Decluttering without tears. Here we go. This is something that over time I have been trying to figure out more, is just as we started to try to be more minimalist, and I feel like just really having the things around us that we care about, that we use. One of the challenging things I found with that is with kids is knowing when to declutter something and when not to declutter things, what they care about, what they don't care about. And I think partly for me, like I used to just like box up the toys in a box, put them away, and then if, they didn't end up asking for anything or they weren't really playing with it, I was just like, eventually we just silently get rid of it. But one of the things that I did not like about this was getting the question all of a sudden, like months later, where my daughter would ask, Mommy, where is, and you're like, okay, do I tell her I got rid of it, or do I what do I say? And is she gonna be so upset? And so there's been a couple of things that I found implementing that have been really helpful with this. The first one is that we do a 10-minute tidy. And one of the things that I found that has been super motivating, where I don't have to keep telling them over and over, clean up, clean up, clean up, is that I tell them, make sure you clean up anything that you care about. And so the idea is that if there is anything left on the floor when Mommy comes in, then I know you don't care about that item. And if you don't care about it, I might get rid of it. It might not be here. And so they know that they have to take care of their things. And I'm like, if you can't take care of it, you have too much and we are going to get rid of it. And so I love this in that you can see really easily when you do the 10-minute tidy that they start looking around the room and they're like, oh, well, I care about this. And they'll go take that and put it away. And oh, I care about this. And you can start to see what they care about. But then afterwards, when I come into the room and there's things on the floor, I know those things on the floor are things that they do not care about. And so I'm like, well, why do we have them? Often that ends up being a lot of like paper junk or whatever. But sometimes you don't know, like, is this the really special art piece that they did? I don't know about you, but like sometimes I throw out art pieces and they don't matter. And then other times I throw them out and they were like their masterpiece, right? And so this is a really good way to just help to clear out just some of that stuff on a somewhat regular basis, and also motivate them to clean up their toys because they have to take care of the things that they actually care about. So that's number one. Number two is that I started actually doing like a little store with my daughter, and I have found this has worked so good. And so the idea with this is that I would go through her things and find things that I didn't really feel like she was playing with, or I was like, I'd rather just not have this. And I would just offer her like, I'll give you 10 cents for this, or I'll give you 25 cents for this. And she's at a stage where she was really excited about money. And I don't know, like I think at the stage when they're kind of like remembering their toys and they kind of have preferences, they can also handle the concept of money and saving up and being able to buy things and stuff. When they're younger, they don't really know or care. But at the point when she was like really into money and saving, she was also more picky about her things and what she had. And I just didn't feel right just like clearing out stuff without her permission. And so just giving her a little bit of money, like 10 cents, 25 cents for something, it was really good because she wanted to go shopping, and then she felt like she could go eventually, buy multiple things and she could go buy something new, or she would start negotiating with me of, I think this is worth $1, or I think this is worth $10. And I'm like, that is not worth $10. And we start like negotiating back and forth to see. But it was interesting because again, I could start to see what were the things she cared about and what were the things she didn't, because the things she cared about, she's like, no way, I'm not selling you that. And the things she didn't, it was kind of like this hesitancy or this negotiation, right? And so I could start to see, okay, well, we might be able to get rid of this piece fairly soon, but we'll see. But what ended up happening as kind of a result of that is that when she wanted to get money because she was trying to save up for something, she would set up a store for me to come and buy. And so I loved that because she would just go through like all of her toys on her own, and she would set them all up on different stools and tables and whatever, and she'd go through and label them all, and then she'd sit down and say, Mommy, are you coming to my store? And she'd have all the things that she wanted to sell. So I knew everything on the table, everything out was stuff she didn't really care about and she was okay letting go of. And then I could go through and I could just negotiate with her, and often that would end up being like she didn't want to go as low as I wanted to go, so I'd end up doing like a group deal where, okay, I'll buy these 3 things for $2 or something, right? I don't know. I've never heard of anybody else doing this. Maybe other people do, but like I just found that we just kind of fell into that, and I have really loved it because it means she knows when she sells it to me, she's not going to see it again, but she has new money to go out and buy something new. And I love that because often if these are gifts or things like that, that it's not just like getting rid of it and not like getting her permission for it, right? Is it possible to totally get rid of tears when you're decluttering? I mean, There's still times I accidentally throw away something or get rid of something that they were like, that was my favorite. Or, you know, it just ends up going in a box and eventually like, I don't think this matters. But I've just found the more I've been able to do the system and just, you know, the 10-minute tidy, clean up what you care about, and the store, I'm going to buy the stuff you don't want anymore. I've just found that that has really given them more ownership over their toys and has also helped give me permission so that if they do say later, Mommy, where did that go? It's like, well, remember you left it on the floor, you didn't pick it up, so Mommy got rid of it, right? And they know that, oh yeah, that's right, you told me, you warned me, right? And sometimes they don't pick up things that I care about, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get rid of this thing, so I'll just, you know, I guess I'm cleaning this up because I care about it. But overall, I definitely can see us leaning into this way a lot more. The kids' toys are the things that are the hardest in terms of just keeping on top of and can get out of hand so fast. If your kids are like mine, my kids like to collect things. We will have tissue paper and like all the wrapping from their presents and like empty bottles and empty toilet paper rolls. You know what I'm saying? Like all this garbage junk around the house because they're going to make crafts with them and they're going to whatever, right? I find that to me, it just helps me to know when they're actually done with the stuff and when they still have plans. Yeah, because I don't know about you, but like half the time I find they end up like dumping out the whole toy box to find one item. And sometimes you think, oh, they're playing with all the toys. No, they're not. They're playing with one and it was at the bottom of the toy box. And the only reason the toys are out is because that one item was at the bottom. And so it's like, you know, if we can just eliminate some of those, it's way less cleanup. So yeah, hope this helps. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next one.